Hello and welcome, I'm Bio, and today I'm talking about something a bit more fresh. It's something that I'm quite passionate about, and I thought it's something that needs to be talked about as well. And I ain't the only one talking about it, everyone's talking about it, aren't they? Because of course they are, because everyone's going to go and give their own 2 cents on it. And I'm not normally the type to give my 2 cents on something like this. As you might have seen from my other videos, if you haven't already, go and check them out if you would please. I talk about things that I find interesting to talk about. And with this recent announcement, I've got a lot to say about it. Mainly because of other people's opinions, but also because obviously, of course, I'm going to have my own opinion in regards to it. And most of the time I just keep these thoughts to myself. I don't ever put them online. I'm not a very sociable person online, if I'm completely and utterly honest with you. I don't go on forums and type essays worth of content, comments, whatever, of this, I believe in this and that. I don't care. I really don't. At the end of the day, I have my own opinions, and I am influenced by others' opinions as well. If they make good points, I'm quite open to critique. And with this new form of content, I thought maybe there might be a decent discussion to be had here. So what is the topic that we're going into today? The topic is One Punch Man Season 3. And I have quite a bit to say in regards to One Punch Man Season 3. But first, I got topics I'm going to go through like I do in all my videos. So I'm going to try and keep this discussion structured for the most part. So the first topic I'm going to go into is what is One Punch Man? Because I'd like to believe that probably there's going to be people clicking on this video that are like, I have no clue what One Punch Man is. What is it? Well, it's originally a webcomic by an author simply known as One, about this, I guess you could say like every man, like he's just an everyday Joe, average Joe, right? Who wanted to become a hero, so he trained doing 10,000 push-ups, 10,000 sit-ups, 10,000, I don't know, something else, and 10,000 miles or kilometers, like sprint or run, whatever. And he did that for like, what, a couple of years, didn't he? Or something like that? 5 years? I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Again, it's a long time ago since I've actually remembered the like origins of Saitama and all that, who's the main character. And he did that and basically became immortal, pretty much. He is like the strongest entity. And it is a gag manga. It is a gag action manga. Or in this case, it was a webcomic to start off with. And it's quite funny. And it's quite comical seeing Saitama, who is trying in his own way to become an S-class hero, but has a lot of problems along the way because, you know, Saitama's so easygoing. He's not like, he doesn't care if he gets credit for something or not, but then he realizes, oh, I need to get credit. I can't rise up the ranks unless I get credit for what I do. What? How do I do it? Oh, there's a sale on? I gotta go get the sale at the grocery store. So, you know, the parody, I guess you could say, or the gag is that he is just OP as fuck, but he is still just a normal person and does normal things. You know, even his fighting style is very normal, you know, consecutive normal punches. But he's just OP as fuck. That's the whole gag of it. And it's funny. It is funny. But it's even more funny, I guess, funny and better that Yusuke Murata, an author who's behind such works as iShield 21, really enjoyed iShield 21 back in the day, decided he really enjoyed the webcomic so much, he was going to work together with One and make it a manga, which I think is serialized in like, I think a web comic kind of thing. I think it's called the Tonari Jump or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I haven't got it open. You know, I could open it, but... And yeah, and chapters come out. And look, I think with that magazine, I think it's a web magazine, and with that magazine, it literally just when the chapter comes out, it comes out. So that doesn't have any structure. You might get a chapter a week for a month, but then the following month, you get nothing. and then the following month you get maybe one chapter. It all depends, really, at the speed Murata wishes to go at the end of the day. But Murata's adaptation of One Punch Man from webcomic to manga is really, really, really good. It's really, really good. It is probably one of my favorite mangas that I'm currently reading. Not the favorite, but it's one of my favorites that I'm currently reading. You know, that spot belongs to Berserk. Oh dear. So that is basically what One Punch Man is. If you want a bit more of a like an in-depth thing, sure. I'll give you one last thing. Let's go on. You know, at the end of the day, I understand my explanation of things is absolutely horrendous. So I'll go on to the One Punch Man manga, and I'll explain. So basically the synopsis written by Mal, rewrite. So after rigorously training for 3 years, the ordinary Saitama has gained immense strength which allows him to take out anyone and anything with just one punch. He decides to put his new skill to good use by becoming a hero. However, he quickly becomes bored with easily defeating monsters and wants someone to give him a challenge to bring back the spark of being a hero. Upon bearing witness to Saitama's amazing power, Genos, a cyborg, is determined to become Saitama's apprentice. During this time, Saitama realizes he is neither getting the recognition that he deserves, nor known by the people due to him not being a part of the Hero Association. Wanting to boost his reputation, Saitama decides to have Genos register with him in exchange for taking him as a pupil. Together, the two begin working their way up toward becoming true heroes, hoping to find strong enemies and earn respect in the process. Yeah, it's quite a basic explanation, but it fits. That's fine. And like I said, it's really good. Tonari no Young Jump. There you go. I got part of it right. Tonari no Young Jump. That's the magazine it's in. So, and so yeah. So that's what One Punch Man is. The next topic I want to go into is my experience with One Punch Man. And you may be thinking, when are you going to get to talking about One Punch Man Season 3? I'm going to get there. I'm taking my time. This is how I do my videos, yeah? I take my time. If you don't like it, click off, go somewhere else. So my experience with One Punch Man is, again, started reading the webcomic, enjoyed it. Then I saw that it was manga, really enjoyed it. Watched the Madhouse anime, really, really enjoyed it. And then obviously I watched One Punch Man Season 2 by JC Staff, and yeah, I'll get to that. So I know, and I've played a little bit of the One Punch Man video game, the Hero Nobody Knows, I think it's called, the subtitle. So there you go. That's my experience with One Punch Man. It's one of the ones I enjoy reading. You know, I generally speaking, I'll leave whatever mangas I'm reading for like 3 months, and then I'll do like a big catch up. One Piece, Chainsaw Man. I do that for Berserk. You know, you get a chapter every 3 months anyway. All jokes aside, I even forget. Those are the ones I can remember that I read, but I always forget some of the ones. Oh yeah. Die Dark, that comes out monthly anyway. Made in Abyss, that comes out whenever the hell it likes. And I think that's about it. I only read like 6 mangas now. Back in the day, I used to read like 20 plus mangas at once, weekly, or monthly or whatever. But yeah. But anyway, let's go on to topic number 3. And topic number 3 is talking about JC Staff. And I think it's best for me to talk about JC Staff first before we talk about One Punch Man Season 2, right? And I'm going to give my thoughts, right? But JC Staff has been doing a lot of work, a lot of anime. They've been around for a long time, JC Staff, right? You know, they've been around for a fairly long time, making a lot of different shows. But let me give you some ideas of shows that they're generally received well, right? They did Bakuman. I never watched Bakuman, if I'm honest with you. It's from the creators of Death Note, but Bakuman, it's about making manga. So, okay. Then you've got the Konosuba movie, which I don't think I'm pretty sure they didn't do the first season of Konosuba. At least I don't think they did. Let me have a look. Studio Dean. The other excellent studio. So Konosuba, I have mixed feelings when it comes to Konosuba. Sometimes the animation's okay, but then you really do notice the animation being quite poor when it comes to action scenes. But then I always forget who the studio is who does Konosuba. So then I see that the first season's done by Studio Dean, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But most people like it because of the comedy in it than anything else. So, you know, the second season's also done by Studio Dean. I've watched both seasons. Like I said, it's not like I don't enjoy it. It's just that in terms of the animation department, it's not very good in certain scenes. It looks really weird, but then you can play it off as it being just the style of the series and it being a quite a gag kind of comedy series. So you can play it off, right? Saikikuso no Sainan, excellent series by JC Staff. Again, another comedy series. Really, really good. Not really that much action in it. You see where I'm going with this? I hope you're seeing a pattern here, right? I'm going over there the most popular stuff, by the way. Going over that. There's some stuff I've never even heard of here. Some series, so it looks like Nodame Cantabile, which seems to be music related of some kind. Can't imagine there's much action in that. They did season 2 of Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 4? If I remember, people like this series, but I tell you one thing, I don't remember it being a series that is particularly accredited for its animation, if I remember correctly. So, animation-wise, as far as I remember it, it's okay, but that's about it. What else have we got here? Trying to look at more recent stuff. You know, Tonari Kagaku no Railgun. Not really familiar with that series, if I'm honest with you. I watched one of them. I think I watched the Accelerator one. It was okay. Again, that had a bit of action in it, but the action wasn't very good. So yeah, there's, if you look at like most of what JC Staff has done in terms of anime, most of it tends to be kind of slice of life-ish kind of style comedy series. And there is a few action series thrown in here and there, but they're generally speaking series that don't have too much action. I'll give you a good example, right? What else have we got? So, oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. So I recently watched Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, and currently the second season's airing. First season was good. I enjoyed the first season. First season's by C2C. Second season's being done by JC Staff, so I automatically know that the action scenes are just not going to be as good. And you would argue and say, wait, how do you know that? How do you know that the action scenes aren't going to be good? Because, dear pupil, it's called having experience with the studio. And this is the point I'm going to try and drive home in this video. And a point that people seem to just completely and utterly disregard when it comes to anime, but hold in the most highest of standards when it comes to video games. And don't worry, I've got video games to reference as well in this video. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you know, these videos aren't scripted, but you know, don't worry about it. So the point of this segment number 3, thoughts on JC Staff's past work, is just to give you some my 2 cents of stuff I've watched by JC Staff, and just to show that there is stuff that they've done that I've enjoyed. Probably my favorite work from them is Saikikuso no Sainan, The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. It's probably my favorite by them. And to me, JC Staff has a certain style. And really, they should stick to that style, because it works. It works for them really well. And there's plenty of series. And you could argue, but they do a lot of comedy series. That also works because of One Punch Man. Okay, if you say so. But I'm going to argue against that in a bit. So now we're going to move to One Punch Man Season 2. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. And you may be arguing to yourself, okay, so what have I got to say about One Punch Man Season 2? I thought it was very mid. I wasn't as harsh as everyone else, saying it was the worst thing since sliced bread. What is this, Berserk 2016? I wasn't like that. Berserk 2016, fuck me. Fuck that. Just kill me now. I can't... I've had people compare One Punch Man Season 2 to Berserk 2016, and I'm like, how? How can you compare them? They're nothing alike. Berserk 2016 is just literal the worst possible thing you could ever make ever off of a very highly detailed source material, right? Whereas One Punch Man Season 2 was nothing like that. You could enjoy One Punch Man Season 2 because it was adapting what I would consider to be a fairly decent arc. Not the best arc. The best arc is the one that that's just passed, the Cosmic Garrow arc. That is by far the best arc in the series so far. And I'm, like I said, I'll give you my 2 cents on what I truly think about JC Staff handling One Punch Man Season 3 later down the line. We're not there yet. But my thoughts with One Punch Man Season 2 is that it was very mid. And it looks like if you look at Mal and look at his rankings, which they don't really mean much at the end of the day, 7.5 something? Let me get scroll it up. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll down. Where's that? Bloody past it, I think. 7.51. And I think that is an accurate rating, to be completely and utterly honest with you. Because it is incredibly mid-series. But I can understand why people hate it. You know why? Because it's very high detailed. You have to understand, Yusuke Murata is an incredibly skilled artist, and he adapts One Punch Man perfectly. Perfectly. With such detail and such passion that it makes the fans passionate. So when they see a mediocre studio like JC Staff, and they are a mediocre. They are exactly like Studio Dean. They are a mediocre studio. Studio Dean can do decent animes, but what about Nanatsu no Taizai, Seven Deadly Sins? I used to enjoy Seven Deadly Sins. I read the entire manga for Seven Deadly Sins. Didn't watch all the animes though. Do you know why? Because the original, I think, 2 seasons were done by A1 Pictures, and A1 Pictures fairly decent studio. You know, fairly decent, not the best, but fairly decent studio. And then suddenly, like with season 3, they moved over to Studio Dean, and I was like, straight away, I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to watch this because Studio Dean just can't do it. Because guess what? Nanatsu no Taizai is a very action-orientated series. And guess what? You look at most people that like are Nanatsu no Taizai fans. You look at their response to season 3 or the seasons done by Studio Dean, and it's generally received, yeah, mid, yeah, bad. Oh, it's horrible. The action scenes are horrible. Here's some still frames. Here's some, like, you know, okay, I don't think it's ever going to be as bad as the Naruto versus Pain fight. I don't think we can go that bad again. God, that's an old reference now, isn't it? You think to yourself, oh, bloody hell, that's such an old reference now. I don't think it's ever going to be as bad as the Naruto versus Pain fight. But I knew immediately from past experiences with knowing the capabilities of Studio Dean that when Studio Dean took over season 3 of Nanatsu no Taizai, it was not going to be good. It wasn't going to be the same. It wasn't going to have the same amount of quality as the previous 2 seasons. I think season 1 is obviously 26 episodes. Season 2 is like 4 episodes, I think. More like an OVA than anything. So, I already knew. So when One Punch Man Season 2 was announced to be with JC Staff, what do you think my response was? It was, wow, it's not going to be as good as the Season 1. Everyone was excited. Everyone was going absolutely mad. Barely anyone was talking about how Season 2 was not going to be good because of it being JC Staff. No, literally no one. I couldn't find a single person. I felt so alone during that time. From going online and reading, I'm reading forum posts. I don't interact with them. I just read them. I'm a casual observer when it comes to stuff like that. Reading these forum posts and being like, how is no one mentioning that because it's JC Staff adapting season 2? The quality's just not going to be there because JC Staff's just not capable of it. And lo and behold, guess what? JC Staff wasn't capable of it. So, we now will move on to topic number 5, a second chance. And I think I've already talked quite a bit on that point. Does JC Staff deserve a second chance with One Punch Man Season 3? Of course they do. But you have to understand, people are going to be still skeptical. I'm incredibly skeptical. And I will still put my hand up, and this is my true feelings when it comes to One Punch Man Season 3, right? They won't be able to do it. It won't be. It'll be the same quality as One Punch Man Season 2. There'll be fixes. Don't get me wrong. The metal texture probably will get changed because that was horrible in Season 2. They might improve a little bit on how they draw people, but you have to understand, this arc that they're going to be adapting is the most action-orientated arc in the entire manga. There's so many fights. There's so many S-class fights. It's unreal. So, thinking to yourself, is JC Staff up to the task? Based on their past work, no, they're really not. They're really not up to the task based on their past work. And that's just me being objective. Me being just looking at it and being realist, because I'm a realist by nature, and looking at all of their past work and coming to the conclusion that, do they have what it takes to do a good, faithful adaptation of One Punch Man into Season 3 of the Cosmic Garrow arc? Fuck One Punch Man as a whole. The Cosmic Garrow arc, right? Can they adapt that arc faithfully into anime? And the real true answer is no. But do they deserve a second chance? Sure. I don't have any control. Makes me laugh when people get angry. It's like, am I angry that it's JC Staff? No. I don't have no fucking control over who animates Season 3 of One Punch Man. I was hoping for Mappa. I was on the band camp of hoping for Mappa. I knew it wasn't going to be Mappa because I could already see what Mappa had lined up for this year. So I was like, I don't think Mappa's ever going to be the one to adapt One Punch Man. So I was looking, I was like, who could do it? Who could do One Punch Man? And I was like, I was thinking to myself, in the back of my mind, I was like, it could be JC Staff again. I hope it isn't, but it could be. And I was like, come on, maybe A1 Pictures. Come on, I'll take A1 Pictures over this. Come on. So, yeah, I personally believe JC Staff do deserve a second chance, sure. Will they prove us wrong? I don't think so. That's just my stance. Again, you may think that's a bit of a conflicting stance, that you're willing to give them a second chance, but I think everyone deserves a second chance. It's up to JC Staff to prove me wrong. It's up to JC Staff to prove all of us wrong. It's not up to me to just change the way I am and my opinion and go and be more lenient for them. More lenient to change my expectations for them. Fuck you. Fuck you, you cunt. And I am going to be that nasty. What fucking right do you have to tell me what my expectations should be? I'm a fucking consumer just like you. I consume things. I enjoy things. Just because you like... There we go. Just because you like Final Fantasy VII doesn't mean I like Final Fantasy VII. I could give loads of references. Just because you like The Last of Us doesn't mean I like The Last of Us. Just because you like Crash Bandicoot doesn't mean I like Crash Bandicoot. Just because you like Grand Theft Auto doesn't mean I like Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, I do like Grand Theft Auto, but do you see the point? We don't all like the same things. We don't all have the same expectations. So you have to understand and be reasonable and be like, if I say to you that I'm happy for them to have this second opportunity to adapt One Punch Man, I hope they give it their all. I really do hope they give it their all. But I'm going to have very, very reserved expectations. They're going to be low. Because history shows me that they're not up to the task. And that's where it comes down to, history. Because now segmenting into topic number 3, history tells differently. And I can give examples to this. Not only in video game, which obviously is my main thing of my channel, but also in anime. Let's say, seeing as we were on the topic of Studio Dean, hell, we could use Age-a-Do. You know, Age-a-Do is another perfect example if you want. Age-a-Do's are quite a unknown studio. They're mostly well known for Ascendance of a Bookworm. Really good series. But did you see that if you're familiar with Ascendance of a Bookworm, did you see that season 4 is being done by Wit Studio? So I already know straight away that season 4 is going to be the best animated season thus far because it's Wit Studio. I'm not saying Age-Do is bad. Age-Do picked very well with Ascendance of a Bookworm. There's not that much action in it. They picked very well. Age-Do is smart as a studio. They go for stuff that they know they can handle. They don't go over their threshold like some studios. Like, in my opinion, JC Staff is doing with One Punch Man Season 3. Or One Punch Man Season 2 when they first were agreed to do that. People keep going on about why don't we get a new Berserk adaptation? I think most studios are scared shitless of adapting Berserk. Because I honestly do think that's what it is. They're scared shitless. I would be. If I was an animator, the expectations the fans would have, fuck me, I'd be fucking sweating buckets. I wouldn't want to do it. And that's probably the reason why Berserk hasn't had a proper anime adaptation since. Personally, I think with Berserk, handle it off to that studio that does the Castlevania animes. I think they'll do a good job. Don't let the Japanese be involved. Just put it to a Western animation studio. Give them a chance under Netflix. That's my stance on that. Because I think all the Japanese studios are scared shitless of it. But the point I was going to get to, in reference of obviously of Studio Dean, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think most people would agree that the way Part 6 was handled in terms of release wasn't great. Everyone wanted it to be a TV, JoJo Fridays. I miss JoJo Fridays. I think most people would agree the way it was done, putting on Netflix in 3 parts, not great, but it was David Production. David Production has done parts 1 to 6. What if? Let's just put it out there. What if Part 7 was announced and the studio wasn't going to be David Production, but it was going to be Studio Dean? The outcry would be immense just because it wasn't David Production doing it. Just because. So there you go. Because history shows that David Production does a really good job with it. Luckily, David Production, I don't think that's going to happen. David Production are very passionate when it comes to JoJo. But imagine if it did happen. The outcry would be unreal. And let's be honest, Studio Dean wouldn't be up for the task. They wouldn't be. So it can happen in other scenarios. It can. That's just obviously a made-up scenario, but that's a scenario you can go with. You know, it's like if it's like if Minipolis were the studio behind Berserk, 2016. But that's another perfect example. You know, I'm not a big fan of Polygon Pictures, and don't go, oh, you don't like CG anime. I fucking Exception. I think is it called Exception? Yeah, Netflix did a series, a 3D animated series called Exception, that had art by Yoshitaka? I can't remember his bloody name. The dude who does the art for Final Fantasy and also the art for Vampire Hunter D. I'm going to have to look his name up because it's going to bother me if otherwise. If I just type in Vampire Hunter D, it'll come up. I'm quite enjoying Vampire Hunter D. I'm on the 6th novel at the moment. It's alright, actually. Yoshitaka Amano. I was going to say Yoshitaka Anno, and I was like, nah, it's not quite right. Yoshitaka Amano. Right? He did the art for Exception, and people panned it because it ran at like 15 frames a second, the animation, and it was in 3D, obviously. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the style of it was fantastic. It was really good. It was one of my favorites of that season. So I've got nothing against CG anime if it's done correctly, if it's done right. Polygon Pictures does not do 3D animation correctly. They suck at it, and they've been sucking at it since Agin, which is crazy. The fact that they haven't improved since then is crazy. Imagine if Polygon Pictures were doing a new Berserk anime. Pretty sure most people would be like, that's gonna fucking suck. It's called History Tells Differently. Again, it's called knowing your history, knowing from past work. And that's how you do it in the anime industry. You know. Soon as you hear a studio's doing an adaptation of a work that you know what that work's going to be like based on the studio. And you could argue and say, oh, but something like JC Staff, they're not like Madhouse. They don't have a set animators. It's full freelance. Don't fucking care. Clearly, you know, there's a specific work. Again, JC Staff's CEO don't fucking change. Their general director doesn't fucking change. Just the staff in the office, not the fucking managers. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe the work-life balance is... Well, the work-life balance in Japan is shit anyway. But maybe the office environment's toxic, and maybe the animators don't put in the same effort they would do with other studios because JC Staff's fucking shit. You don't know what goes on the inside. I don't. We can all speculate. But that's what I'm saying. You don't know. Just because you can gather what a series is going to be like in terms of quality based off what studio's doing it straight away. I don't care what anyone says. You can tell straight away. And it's the same in the video game world. I want to use a specific developer here. And hell, why don't we use... Because I'm pretty sure I'm using One Punch Man or Hero Nobody Knows footage for the background of this video. Let's use... Right? Let's just use that video game as an example. That was done by Spike Chunsoft. I didn't really like it, to be honest, because it was just basic, boring. I was like, this is just the most basic, bland arena fighter you could find. But I remember a time when Spike Chunsoft was actually making decent arena fighters. Anyone remember J-Stars? J-Stars was good. You know, I really enjoyed J-Stars. Was one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 3. I got it on the PlayStation 3 if I remember correctly. So if I put in J-Stars, right, Victory Versus Plus, which is what I played, and we have a look at Spike Chunsoft, and we have a look at some of the games that they've made, right? I'll go just do developer. Get off of the fucking thing. Role developer. There we go on Game FAQs. People forget that Spike Chunsoft did Dragon Ball Fighters. No, I'm not talking about Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi, which was hit or miss. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I didn't think much of it. Right. Obviously, they did Danganronpa, but they did J-Stars Victory Versus. Really good arena fighter. And to me, it shows, and especially considering Dragon, you know, I can look at Budokai Tenkaichi. They know how to do good arena fighters. Right? So back then, when they were putting these out, I was picking them up, these anime arena fighters, because I knew from history that Spike Chunsoft does a good job. One Piece Burning Blood, excellent. Another game by Spike Chunsoft, excellent game. Excellent game. Really enjoyed it, played for it, got all the achievements in it. I enjoyed it that much. Because I do like a good anime arena fighter if it's done right and done well. And I'm just scrolling through here. Do you know when they fucked it up? Do you know when it changed? Jump Force. Jump Force is when it changed. The unbelievable lack of quality in Jump Force made me do a complete 180 with Spike Chunsoft. Complete 180. And I was lucky. If I remember correctly, I think I picked up Jump Force on sale, because I never pick up any of these anime arena fighters on full price anyway. Never. Not even like the Storm series, which is like my favorite. And I don't pick them up full price. And the lack of quality was just insane to me. Absolutely insane. Didn't like Jump Force at all. You know, if you like it, fair enough. It's flashy fighting, but it's a poor arena fighter. The hub world is just completely pointless. I feel like they saw what Dragon Ball Xenoverse did with the hub world and was like, we got to do a hub world for all of our arena fighters after that. That's how it feels to me. And it's just like, ever since Jump Force, they've always done it now. They've always done it. And it's true, they have. But they also did the One Punch Man, which for some reason is not coming up on here. I hope that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is good. I just hope it is. But I'll put the One Punch Man. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. Oh, it's because it has Bandai Namco Games as the developer and publisher on Game FAQs. Okay, that's fucking a load of shit. Spike Chunsoft is the developer of One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows. I don't know why they're being like that. It is very much so. They are the developers. So stupid. But One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows is another one. It's mediocre. It has like an unnecessary hub world. The hub world is bigger than it needs to be. It could just literally be. Do you know what the best hub world I've seen in a like a fighting game is? In Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It's so small. That's all you need. You don't need. I don't even understand the whole point of the hub world. The only reason Xenoverse had it is because it kind of needed it for the kind of game it was. There was no reason for Jump Force to have the hub world. No reason whatsoever. No reason whatsoever for One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows to have a hub world. But it's incredibly mediocre as a game. At least in my opinion. And now, my thoughts with Spike Chunsoft is skewed. You saw what I said about Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. I hope it's good. That's what I said, didn't I? The first thing, I hope it's good. I'm trying to be optimistic with them, but I have a feeling it's probably not going to be the same. Probably not. Simply because Spike Chunsoft's quality standards when it comes to arena fighters has tanked. Has unbelievably tanked. So, the point I'm trying to make with this segment is, right, and point 6... Is it point 6? No, point 7 was going to be me referencing Berserk and Jojo, but I believe I've already referenced Berserk and Jojo already in that regard. Is when it comes to video games, why is it that we're allowed to look at a studio that's behind a video game, a developer, right, behind a video game, and we know if the game's going to be good from the get-go, from that point, right? We know if it's going to be good or not. People looking at this new Hunter x Hunter fighting game, and they're looking at the graphics, and they can tell just from the graphics alone that, ooh, that looks a bit funny. It's being done by Ating, and Ating is a classic in like 3D fighters, not arena fighters, but 3D fighters. But Ating always did kind of budget 3D fighting games for anime games. So for them to come out and do like a brand new one, and then they show that trailer with that graphics, I'm like, wow, that looks like a mobile game. That's not good. And people are already slating it because of just the way it looks. I just hope it plays all right. But it's because it's Ating. I know what Ating's capable of. How is it okay for people in the video game industry or video game consumers, video game enthusiasts, whatever, people who like video games, gamers. How is it okay for them to look at a developer and go, I know this game's going to be good, I know this game's going to be bad because of the developer? Back in the day, we looked at games like, oh, Dr. Dolittle? I love that movie. Wait a second. Video game on the PS2 that came out in 2006? Blast Entertainment? This is shovelware. How are we allowed to do that? And yet when it comes to anime, you can't look at when they announce a new anime and you see the studio and you go, oh, that's not a good fit. That's not a good fit for that studio. Oh god, dearie me. Why is that studio doing an adaptation of this manga? That doesn't fit. I don't think they can handle that. Why is that a controversial opinion? We're using the exact same tactics. Exactly the same fucking tactics. But it's okay to do that in the video game community, but in the anime community, can't do that. I'm sorry, that's how it feels like talking with some of these people, if you ever have to talk to them. I have someone at my workplace that's that blindly, like, he can't critically think. That is what it is. 100% can't critically think. Just enjoys anime, really enjoys anime. Average Sword Art Online enjoyer. Sorry, I don't mean to insult people. And he does actually enjoy Sword Art Online. So, you know, all the power to him. But you see, it's like he can't critically think to save his life. Really can't. And you think, how do you adult? How do you adult? You're older than he's like. 15 years older than me. He's 45. I'm 30. He's 45. How? I've got a few more points to raise. I can see the video's going on longer than I would like, personally. But like I said, I'm quite passionate about this. I do have a lot to say. So I've got 4 more points to go on about, and I'll try and keep them somewhat shorter. Right? The next point I wanted to talk about is blind optimism. I just want, if you've watched the video to this point, whether you listen to it as background noise or whatever, as you're doing something, because I doubt you're watching it, you're just probably listening to it. I want to, if you are blindly optimistic about One Punch Man Season 3, all I want to know is why. Why? What are your reasons behind it? That's what I would like to know. I'm not blindly optimistic. And my reasoning is because I know what JC Staff's capable of. I've seen a lot of their previous work. I've enjoyed certain stuff. I haven't enjoyed other stuff. I can use Season 2 as a reference point. The fact that we're not using Season 2 as a reference point, and a lot of people aren't, they're just going, don't worry about Season 2. Let them cook. Let them cook. Yeah, give them a second chance. Sure, but are you just not open to critical thinking? Are you just not open to criticism? Are you just not open? Do you not look at something and critique it? Is that what it is? Do you not watch a movie and go, well, that was a bad movie? Does every movie you watch, oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah, that was okay. It was an okay movie. Are you the type of person that would never call something bad? Why? I bet you're also the type of person that gets walked all over at work and fucking absolutely fucking drained. Like, your managers must fucking like, oh yeah. Oh, this guy, he can't say no. He's just a yes man. Nice little brown noser. Get that nose straight up my asshole. And do my job for me. I just want to know, when it comes to blind optimism, why do you have this blind optimism? Why can't you just be critical and be like real? Just give a real opinion. Just give me your stance and give the reasoning behind it. I've given you my stance and I've given you the reasoning behind it. If your automatic response is, you didn't give enough reason, that wasn't good enough, it just goes to, you're not open to discussion then, are you? Straight away, you're not open to discussion, are you? Because you're just gonna, no matter what I said from that, if you told me that, you automatically tell me that you're not open to criticism, you're not open to discussion. No matter what I say, it's gonna be wrong. Unless it aligns with your opinion. What are you? Are you a fucking child? Are you a fucking child? Seriously. That's a serious opinion. Seriously, that's a question for you. Are you a child? Why are you acting like a child? That's something I'd expect of a child, right? Not a full-grown adult who's over the age of 18, right? If you're watching this video and you're over the age of 18, I expect critical thinking from you. I really do. I expect critical thinking from everyone, right? And with the blind optimism, there's the hype train. Why do people jump on the hype train? I really don't get it. Whoa, I'm crazy. I can't wait for this. I've been waiting 5 years for Season 3. I can't wait. Why? You're the same type of person that can't... Like, I've got people at work that are playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now. The second Final Fantasy VII game. And I'm like, why are you playing it now? Why don't you just wait for a sale? Why do you just wait? What? Can't you wait? Right, you know, can't you just wait for the game to be on sale? Do you have to play it now? I'm playing Star Ocean 4 at the moment. A game that came out on the 360 and PS3 back in the day, right? I got a 4K remaster. I got it during the Christmas sale for £4.80. Money well spent. I'm enjoying it. Not a big fan of the combat, but I'm enjoying the story. It's interesting. And the world. It's interesting. Why can't you just wait? And that's what I don't get. I've never been the type to jump on the hype train. The last time I jumped on the hype train was when they brought the Yakuza series to PC. When they brought the Yakuza series to PC, I was absolutely ecstatic. I was fucking over the moon, fucking jumping up and down, going crazy. Because I loved the Yakuza series, but I couldn't, you know, the last Yakuza, I didn't play much of 5 because I had to get it digitally on the PS3. But when it announced that Yakuza 0 was coming to PC, I was like, yeah, I was fucking mental. And it was, you know, and I'm glad that the PC ports were handled well. I'm glad, or else my expectations would have been absolutely munted. But now I don't follow the hype train. I've been waiting for them to announce Shin Megami Tensei 5 to be coming to PC, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they will. They're not going to just leave it as a Switch exclusive. I'm pretty sure they'll bring it to PC and all other systems eventually. And there you go, they've announced it. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, or whatever it's called. It's coming to PC. You think I would be jumping up and down, going over the moon, because it's a game I would really, really want to play? Nope. I'm just like, cool, that's nice. It'll get added to the list. It'll be years before I play it, because I'll be getting it on sale. I'm in no rush. No rush for anything. So I don't understand the hype train anymore. I don't get it. I don't understand why people still jump on it, right? And it leads to the point of you can't critically think, can you? That's what it is. If you jump on the hype train, you can't critically think. Like, think of your favorite video game. It's like one of my favorite video games of all time is Doshin the Giant on GameCube. Imagine if Nintendo, right, announced they were doing Doshin the Giant remastered. I'd be excited, sure. I'd be like, oh, cool, but it'd be like, oh, that's cool. That's all it would be. I know it would be coming to PC, but would I buy it on the Switch? Hell yeah, sure. Nice little chill game. Anyway, let's move on to the next 3 points. And this is just kind of... Actually, one of those points is my personal opinion, but I feel like I've given my personal opinion when it comes to Season 3 now. I'm pretty sure you've got it down pat. You know, I'm going to give it a chance, but my expectations are low. I know what JC Staff is capable of. There you go. That's how it is. But I would like to put a point out there before I'm going to ask you some questions right at the end of this video. And that is, could you be a bit more reasonable with your expectations? Just be a little bit. With the hype train, ignore the hype train. Don't jump on the hype train. Can you just be a bit more reasonable with your expectations like I am? I like to think I'm very reasonable with my expectations. But then the counterpoint to that is are expectations too high? Are they too high? What are they? People will constantly keep going on about One Punch Man Season 1, the stars were all aligned, blah, blah, blah. No, Madhouse was just a quality studio. Madhouse does good anime. In terms of animation, Madhouse does really well. Tac Opt Destiny. Very mediocre series. I didn't finish it. I watched about half of it. Didn't finish it. But the animation was fantastic. And I already knew the animation was going to be fantastic. Do you know why? Because they announced that both Madhouse and Mappa were collaborating on that anime. Straight away, I knew, the animation was going to be the key focus of this series. Because those two studios are behind it. So saying that it was the stars that aligned and blah, 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 it was just the dream team was on it, they were lucky, it was just a fluke. No. Fuck you saying you were lucky and it's a fluke, the stars are aligned. All that effort that Madhouse put into Season 1 gets thrown out the window and put down the drain with fucking comments like that, you fucking scummy filth. And I will call you, you scummy, scummy filth. How dare you? How fucking dare you? What's the word I'm looking for? Devalue the work that Madhouse and all the staff and studio put into Season 1 by just saying that it was a fluke, it was lucky, all the stars were aligned. It was just a one-off occasion. Fuck you and everything you stand for. You fucking scummy filth. All that hard work. All that hard work. And Madhouse did an amazing job. And other studios could have done. You want me to name some studios, right? Right? You want me to name some studios? Let's go onto Mao and we'll look at this current anime season. Right? This current anime season. Of what animes could have handled One Punch Man Season 3. They may not have lived up to the expectations of the action of Murata's art, of course, but I'll name some. Well, the first one I'm looking at right now is Solo Leveling. That's being done by A1 Pictures. Michelle Season 2 by A1 Pictures as well. A1 Pictures could handle it. We've got Classroom of the Elite Season 3 by Lurch. Yeah, Lurch, I don't know if Lurch could handle it. That's not really their kind of style. Obviously, second season of Moonlit Fantasy, that's JC Staff. I've already given you my 2 cents on that. Dungeon Meishii by Trigger. Hell, Trigger could handle Season 3 of One Punch Man. Yubisaki no to Renren. Don't know what that is. Not my kind of series. I don't think it's not on my wish. It's not my plan to watch. Everything I've said so far is on my plan to watch. That's being done by Ajadu. Well, I've already told you Ajadu could not do One Punch Man Season 3. Mato Seihei no Slave, being done by 7 Arcs. Well, I haven't seen that much series by 7 Arcs, but I am familiar with their animation, and it would be difficult for them to do it. About as difficult as JC Staff, if I'm honest with you. Boku no Kokoro no Yabai Yatsu Season 2, Shin A Animation. I'm not massively familiar with them as a studio. What stuff have I watched by them? Don't see them come up too often. Oh, mainly because they handle Doroman movies and Slice of Lifes. Oh, they did Mashiro no Oto. I did watch that. Mostly Doroman movies. So my argument with there is Shin A and animation probably couldn't handle it, just from what looking at their history. Silverlink. There you go. Dosano Gal wa Namari Menko. I'm going to bloody butcher a lot of these names. That's been done by Blade and Silver. Not familiar with Blade, but that must be a very small studio. And Silverlink. Silverlink could do One Punch Man. They do very good action scenes in the isekai anime. They generally do. Right? More recently, they did Eminence in the Shadow. Very good series, very good action. That was Silverlink, if I remember correctly. I want to be 100% certain on that. Or maybe I was wrong. I was probably wrong. No, I am wrong. I am wrong. Ugh. See, I don't always get it right. They're doing Ragnar Crimson. The animation in Ragnar Crimson's okay. Not my kind of series, though. But Silverlink, they could handle it. Because they've done some decent animations. Their animation style is quite bland, though, I will say. But you could argue and say that with Silverlink, at least the action scenes would be fairly okay. Studio Volin is doing Ano Exorcist Season 3. They did Ushio Totoro. And did Karakuri Circus. I quite enjoyed those series. I enjoyed Ushio Totoro more, to be honest. Yeah, I reckon they could do an okay job with that. So already I've already named a bunch of studios that could do One Punch Man Season 3. Don't get me wrong, it would be nowhere near the same quality as Madhouse or Mappa, but they could do it. It's within their capabilities. But it isn't when it comes to JC Staff. And that is the point I'm trying to drive home to you today. That is the point. I could go further. Got Bones here for Metallic Rouge. Bones did Mob Psycho 100. All 3 seasons. Excellent anime. Excellent seasons. Bones could easily handle it. They do fucking My Hero Academia at the end of the day. Then we have Passione. Don't think they could handle it, to be honest. Surprised that Mappa's doing like an original series this season. Buchigiri. I'll still give it a go, but it's not rated particularly high. But I'll give it a go because it's Mappa. But you see my point, I'm going along, satellite UFO table. UFO table, how about that? Pretty sure it would have a very interesting look to it if it was UFO Table. But UFO Table could do One Punch Man Season 3 very easily. I shouldn't have to use Demon Slayer as an example, should I really? It would be very stylistic. But could Shaft do One Punch Man Season 3? No, because it would be very weird if Shaft did it. I watched Fate Last Encore recently, and that was very strange. Not what I'd expect from a Fate series. Simply because Shaft did the animation, because obviously they have to be weird and do things a specific way. Everything has to be Monogatari with them. Can you... The way I'm talking about anime here... Yeah, okay, I got it wrong with Silverlink, right? That's fine. You know, every now and then I will. But it's because I'm just remembering things wrong. And just to correct me, I will go and have a look. Who did Eminence in the Shadow? Nexus. That's why I couldn't remember it, because Nexus is quite an unknown studio, generally speaking. Yeah, they've done barely anything. Darwin's Game is the only other thing I watched by them, and the way they did Eminence in the Shadow, they did a really, really good job. I hope they do. I hope they continue making quality like that. To be honest with you, I really do. Hope they continue making quality stuff like that. But that's the reason why I get confused with stuff, with stuff like that, because Nexus is still a fairly unknown studio. But I'd like, before I end this video, right, because we're getting up to an hour now, can you not see that I have good history, good experience when it comes to... I've watched over 1,000 different series, because anime is a massive hobby for me. So I like to think I've got quite a good idea of what expectations I have, what studios are capable of, just by seeing which studio is doing what anime. Straight away. And I want people to do the same. Do your homework. No one likes homework, but just do your research. Do it. Before you watch anything, be objective, do your research, do your homework. So I'm going to end this video with 2 questions for you, the viewer. 2 questions. Feel free to answer them. Feel free to put whatever you like in the comments. This is a discussion, rant, whatever, moan video, whatever you want to refer to it as. My first question is what are your thoughts when it comes to this announcement that JC Staff is the studio behind One Punch Man Season 3? What is your exact thoughts? What was the first thing that came to your mind when you heard about this announcement? And the second question, do you think JC Staff will measure up or fail spectacularly? Do you think they'll be able to do it? Or do you think it will just be a very mid-series, or they'll just completely fuck it up? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what your side of it, what your opinion is. But please, please, keep your comments constructive. If your comment ends up being just complete fucking, your opinion shit, blah, 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 I'm just going to delete your comment. It's like, why would I even interact with you? Like, this makes me laugh. Why would I even interact with you? You're clearly not here to have a meaningful discussion. What's the point? That will take it takes you all of fucking however long to write your vitriol inspired comment, where it takes me all of about 30 seconds to read it and about 5 seconds to delete it. Just think about that. Anyway, I've been Bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.